15 weeks pregnant with their son Nico, was found in a shallow grave, their 2 daughters submerged in oil.
A lot of people want to know if Watts could also face a murder charge for his unborn baby. The simple answer is no.
Colorado does not recognize an unborn child, literally at any stage, as a person for the purposes of our murder statute. So the easy answer is no. The father of the unborn child cannot be charged with murder relating to the unborn child.
We're excited, and Cece's on week 2 of potty training. Do you have any accidents today? No accidents today at school. No accidents this weekend. She's had 2 accidents in 2 weeks, which is incredible. A lot of, yes, baby. She can, but after mommy. Say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Say thank you for being the compliments.
Thank you to compliment.
All right, guys. Have a great day, and we're going to go celebrate our excitement over here. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Ella, you gonna say hi to everybody since you took over? What do you want? Do you want another brother or sister?
Sister.
You want another sister? You want another baby too? Yeah? You want a brother or a sister?
Sister.
You want a little sister?
Yeah.
You want to be a big sister?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Court records are revealing crucial details into the murder investigation of pregnant mom Shanann Watts and her 2 daughters. Just before 5:30 in the morning, a neighbor's surveillance camera captures Chris loading something into the back of his truck.
Baby.
I'm right here.
Uh-oh. No.
Oh no.
Oh no. What happened?
What happened, baby?
Save me, Mommy.
I saved you. You're right here. You're safe. He's not going to get you. He's not a mean monster.
Okay, everybody, welcome to Watts the Obsession True Crime. I'm so glad that you're here. It is Watts the Obsession weekend date night on Friday or Saturday night. Every weekend we have a live stream. It is our date night, and we are so glad that you joined us tonight. Tonight we are going to be talking about, well, the namesake case for this channel, Chris Watts, the Chris Watts case. We're going to be talking about Chris Watts and Nichol Kessinger, specifically more so Nichol Kessinger. And there's going to be a few things. Now, first of all, I just want to say that this is the only Watch channel that does the Watts case analysis that you're going to find that brings a behavioral analysis perspective, as I'm a behavioral therapist. And we have a lot of people who are in the channel community who are also very versed in this case, have a lot of insight, and come from a lot of different professions who've contributed to the analysis of this case, who's going to use, all of that combined with the forensic statement analysis method that's used by Veroscope or like another friend channel of this channel, Deception Detective, to analyze the case even further, to go deeper into the facts and have a better understanding of what the hell happened in this horrible case. Why did this man, who seemed like the perfect father, destroy his whole family horrifically? And did he do it alone? Or did somebody else help him? So we are going to be looking at some of one of Veroscope's recent videos analyzing using forensic statement analysis, a very specific, tried and true, scientifically proven method to analyze Nichol Kessinger's statements in her interview with CBI. Kevin Kobach's interviewing her. It's the interview where they're at the yellow table and her dad is there. And guys, this is going to be awesome because it is the best part of the interview. It's where Nichol Kessinger has all of the nervous breakdowns, all of the things, all the nervous breakdowns happen. This child this big. And some people think when she puts her hand above the ground and shows how tall the children would have been, it means that she had met the children. I don't know. What do you think about that? When she's like, yeah, no, I didn't know. and she starts crying to avoid talking about the 111-minute phone call between herself and Chris Watts. And this is the part of the interview wherein all of the almost 12 hours total of interview material we have on record from Nichol Kessinger, she actually verbally addresses anything about the 111-minute phone conversation, okay? And we here at Watts the Obsession do know a lot more about that phone call than the public does for a number of reasons, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But first, let me just say hello to some of you who are here. And thank you so much for being here tonight. If you don't mind, please do click the like. I'd really appreciate it. It helps out the video so much. Oh, also a little channel announcement. Cuffy, if you could please do the links, that would be so awesome. Watts the Obsession also has a Discord, and Cuffy primarily runs it. She does such a great job. We talk about so much more than the Watts case on Discord. There are like, I don't know, like 50 cases with up-to-date information, interesting information, ongoing discussions. Check it out. Follow the Discord link. All you have to do is say, hey, I want to be part of this server. And, you know, there's no fee, nothing. We don't ask for anything. We just want you to be part of it. We also have a Patreon, and there is free membership options and paid membership options. I'd love you to become a member, whether it's a free or paid member. Again, we just want you to be part of that community. We have exclusive content over there, and we do some live streams that are totally uncensored for members. And it is such a really good way to support the channel. It really does help, because on YouTube, as I'm sure you've heard others say, a lot of my material gets demonetized due to the topics that we're talking about. It's a thing in true crime over the past couple of years. Unfortunately, it's pretty hard to make our way. So Red Sonia is a member. Welcome. I'm so glad. And thanks for being here. And our very own Cuff, you has been a member for 13 months. Wow. I say wow to that too. And Sherry, you are such an angel. She's also one of our moderators, and she's a friend. She's wonderful. And she super chat $20 says, love you. I love you back, girl, more than you know. You're such a great support. I really appreciate you. And hello to everybody who's in here. My friend Justice A through Z, she has a true crime channel of her own. Yeah, we did that. I did that. Hey, MV Gal, I haven't seen you in a while. Andrea, Shay, I haven't seen you in a long time either. It's so great to see you. Sky Dream, always glad you're here. You have so much insight into this case. Our very own Honey Bun, I think our longest running moderator at this point. She and Anaphylaxis are our head moderators. Hey, Bridget Rabbit, how's it going? Nice to see you. Tommy's girl. There's our Justice A through Z. I know Kevin, Edward Schwenk, one of our wonderful moderators as well. There's Anaphylaxis, and let's see. Scouse Girl, welcome. Yeah, hit the like button if you can. Thanks, I really appreciate it. Or if you do like, and if you don't like, hit the thumbs down. It's all good. Give us your feedback. Let's see. I don't want to miss anyone. I know Kevin Bashnik, another one of our wonderful moderators, and my friend is here. He is the person on our team who is the oil field expert. And Kevin, during the last watch stream, oh no, it was during the Patreon one. You weren't there. People were asking questions about the oil tanks. Kevin has a job just like Chris Watts did in the oil field. He does all the duties that Chris Watts did, and knows an incredible amount about those oil tanks and working in the oil fields. Maybe Kevin, if you would be so kind, we could do a live stream again soon to answer those questions. Then we got Mama Cat. Welcome. How are you doing? So great to see you. And all right. Without further ado, let's get started. I don't know. What should we start with? We're going to go into Veroscope again, but just about the 111-minute phone conversation. Let me just bring this up.
I want to go back.
Oops. Not yet. Da-da-da-da. Come on. It won't let me change the configuration. Oh, that's a bummer. All right. Let me remove.
It just seemed like he had so much going on, and it was just beautiful that I was like, why don't you just try this out, you know? I did not like it, did not want to go back.
I just have to say, look at that creepy ass face. Guys. She looks like the she-devil for real. Whoa. I don't know, man. Look at that. Yikes.
That's the best I can tell you from a timing. Can you give us a better idea of her role in the investigation, how forthcoming she was and how she helped? She originally came forward and spoke to investigators on her own volition.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm really trying to help you guys. I need you guys to help me too. Like,
yes, ma'am.
This is a team, but just don't.
So the reason why we can't, like, I think.
Prior to the time, unfortunately, that she came in and spoke with investigators, she had deleted all of the information off of her phone that had any connection between her and Chris Watts. That hampered the investigation.
You know, they're going to say, oh, you're the woman that had an affair with this man who took out his whole family. And I take a step back and it's just like, I didn't know. Like, it's...
that hampered our ability to get that electronic digital connection between the two.
Wow! Why? Ow!
She was interviewed on multiple occasions. I believe that for the most part she was forthcoming in the course of those investigations. We don't have any reason to believe that she had any prior knowledge or involvement in the death of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I think that's the best way I can answer that. Yes, sir.
I still cannot believe this is happening. I still cannot believe this is happening.
So his wife gets home sometime at about 2 o'clock on that morning. So
no, she got home on Sunday.
Pardon me, Sunday. She got home on Sunday. So did you ever talk to him late on Sunday night?
No, we were on the phone, but I mean, I had to let him go and get up and go to work.
That was the 9 to 11 call that it was like a 2-hour phone call we talked about yesterday on Sunday night from 9 p.m. to 11.
And that would have been the last time that I talked to him until the work day.
That's the meat of this whole situation.
Let's get to the phone call on Saturday from 9 to 11. What did you guys, or pardon me, on Sunday from 9 to 11?
Yeah, we talked a few times. So... Sunday, I think so. I need to think. I can't even think.
Take a couple breaths and take a second.
Sunday night. I don't even know. I don't think I was like concerned about anything at that point.
You guys had had a nice meal the night before. You knew his wife was probably coming home late that evening.
Oh, you know what? I still don't remember what we talked about. Honestly, we talk about so much random stuff. It's so hard to pinpoint some of these things. I don't remember what we talked about. I do remember that was a long phone conversation that we probably talked about all sorts of stuff. One thing I do remember though, that I didn't remember earlier when I was talking to Mark. So this is where I'm starting to remember little bits and pieces. I don't remember. Yeah, I know. So the phone conversation. I don't remember what was in the phone conversation. Probably nothing of relevance, to be honest with you. But usually.
And I just want to say everything that's in this little video that I made here that is pointing out the inconsistencies and her talking about the 111-minute phone conversation is in the video that Veroscope uses his forensic statement analysis method magic to analyze to indicate points of deception. And there's basically, all of it. Deception. All of it.
Usually he talks to me when he's down in the basement in his bed before he goes to bed and before I go to bed. And I could hear the TV on, which I thought was kind of weird. I didn't ask him. I just heard it in the background. And I remember thinking, and it was right before we got off the phone, I was like, why the hell is he up? And there's no TV downstairs. So I was like, well, maybe, I don't know.
So no TV in the basement where he usually calls you from?
Yeah, and I don't know how many TVs they have. I've never been in their bedroom.
So I just wanted to say good morning. I'm in the middle of getting ready. Bella woke up. Come here. She's trying to climb the bed right now.
I I went upstairs once and it was like to their little playroom, and I just like looked at it and I was like, that's super cute that your girls have books.
And my point of putting these videos and with what she's saying here is to show the intimacy of this family relationship that this woman infringed upon and, well, assaulted and battered, in my opinion.
Please don't take my sunshine away. My sunshine, my sunshine, and we get happy inside the way.
And that was like it. And other than that, I have never been in any of those rooms in that upstairs. Like, to me, it was just like, you don't know, like, ever. I had no, so I don't know if he has any other TVs. I'm assuming by like how much other nice stuff they have in their house, it wouldn't surprise me. So I'm not quite sure what room he was in at that point. But I just remember hearing the TV, and I was like, it was just weird to me, because I was like, why are you watching TV right now? It is like super late.
So his wife gets home sometime at about 2 o'clock on that morning. So
No, she got home on Sunday.
Pardon me, Sunday. She got home on Sunday. So did you ever talk to him late on Sunday night?
No, we were on the phone, but I mean, I had to let him go and get up and go to work.
That was the 9 to 11 call that it was like a 2-hour phone call we talked about yesterday on Sunday night from 9 p.m. to 11.
And that would have been the last time that I talked to him until the work day.
But I just remember hearing the TV, and I was like, it was just weird to me, because I was like, why are you watching TV right now? It is like super late.
At 21:29, which is 9:29, we have Shanann made an unanswered call to Watts. Well, the reason that likely is, my friends, is because a minute before that, at 9:28, or in military time, 21:28, that's when that 111-minute phone call began. There is no mention of that phone call here in the official discovery. I just find that to be a conspicuously missing piece of information.
What were you talking to Nikki about before your wife got home?
Before she got home?
You talked for like several hours.
I covered it. I mean, we talked a lot. Just conversations, and just random conversations. We talk a lot.
Does Nikki know about any of this? Seriously.
Well, she doesn't know, like, I mean, she knows, like, from the news.
The meat of this whole
Let's get to the phone call on Saturday from 9 to 11. What did you guys, or pardon me, on Sunday from 9 to 11?
Yeah, we talked a few times. So, Sunday, I think so. I need to think. I can't even think. I have all these things that I can't tell you.
Oops, okay, I can't share that because the copyright on my music has changed since I made this video. So the point of that was, you know, she answers a question about the 111-minute phone call, and the very little that she does answer about it in completely contradictory terms in a few ways. We're going to discuss that more when we get into the Veroscope video that uses forensic statement analysis to analyze her statements in the interview. And this is the best part of that interview. It's where she has all of the freaky ass nervous breakdowns. So at first she says, no, we weren't late on the phone that night. I had to get up and go to work the next morning. And she says a few things about that. And then the next time she's asked, she, through the context of telling a long-winded story, says, yeah, he was laying on the mattress and there wasn't a sheet on the mattress and it was so late and he was watching TV. And I was like, why is he watching TV? It's so late. Why is he up this late? I was like, oh, he's waiting up for his wife. Oh, maybe he's not. I mean, well, Interesting, right? And I have a lot more to say about that in the context of the great analysis that Veroscope did on the best part of the interview from August 16th, 2018 with Kevin Kobach when Daddy, of course, is present. Yeah, and Skydream says 9:28. The 111-minute phone call started at 9:28 p.m. and it ended at 11:19 p.m. Shanann was supposed to get home around 11 p.m., but due to storms in Arizona, she was late and she didn't end up arriving at 2825 Saratoga Trail until 1:48 p.m. So, yeah, without further ado, and I'm going to stop. I just wanted to pin all your comments so we could see everyone who's here and see what you have to say. I'm going to stop pinning them so much. But yeah, please come on in, hit like, become part of the conversation. Let us know where you are joining us from if you're new, and we want you to join in chat. We just ask they're respectful to the victims and their families, and really anything else goes. We want to hear what you think. Nobody's going to judge you here. We just don't do that. I just ask that you please stay on topic. It just helps the stream. Okay, thanks. All right, and of course, the link for this video and anything else I refer to during the course of this live stream is going to be in the description, and I cannot more emphatically recommend this channel. It's absolutely brilliant. You guys are going to love this. You're in for a super treat.
Welcome back to the Veroscope report of Nichol Kessinger, and we're going to be going through the forensic linguistics of her interview with the police officers. So we're going to be looking at statements like this. For instance, do you remember in one of the previous analyses, she called Chris back in the middle of the night because Nichol could not sleep. She could not sleep at all. When he answered, he, talking about Chris Watts, sounded like he was sleeping. She said something to the effect of, "How the hell can you sleep right now?" Now remember, the police haven't been called. Nobody is supposed to know that Chris Watts has murdered his wife and children. But she, Nichol, is up all night and she can't sleep. And she says, "How the hell can you sleep right now?" She's angry at him. She's calling him in the middle of the night. He said he was dozing off and on the couch. And she remembers thinking, she tells the police officer, "I haven't shut my eyes yet, and this is not even my family." Now look at the words. Now remember, she's not supposed to know that that Shanann has been murdered. But she can't sleep. This is very unusual language, don't you think? Let's carry on with the actual interview itself, and then we're going to go through some more. So somebody asked the other day about the various science aspects of forensic linguistics. So we're going to look today a little bit. You don't need your pads, you don't need your pencils, but we're going to look a little bit of the history of deception detection and who the scientists are and what they've discovered so far. Okay, so don't worry, you're not going to be tested. I won't spend too long on it. Let's look at exactly what she's got to say for herself today.
So you're pretty serious. Did he ever tell you that he loved you?
Yes, he did.
Did you ever tell him the same?
A couple times.
Okay. Now, we're standing.
Okay, and this is where we got to before. So she's talking about telling him a couple of times only she would admit to, that she tells him that she loves him, but Chris Watts is telling her constantly, buying her flowers. I notice as we go through this next bit, she said that she's not interested in expensive things, but notice she clocked the Lexus, she clocked the lifestyle. She pretty much with her calculator added up the cost of everything, including their income. This is not the person who, she's pretending she doesn't know their finances, and she's pretending that she's not interested in what Chris could give her. Listen to what she has to say.
Not today, because those thoughts may have changed for you, but on, let's go Sunday into Monday or Monday, did you did you still love him on those days?
I think it was something where it was like I said it a few times and I meant it, but he definitely.
So notice in deception detection, did you hear the pattern? Try and pick it up at conversational speed. Did you notice the I pattern? And whenever we see that, the triple I, what normally follows is a level of deception. Essentially what it is, it's the brain under cognitive load deciding Eek didn't like the beginning of that sentence, so she started I, was about to carry on, but stopped herself, self-censored, said I again. Eek didn't like where that sentence was going, stopped herself, said I again, and then carried on. In the
Okay, I just want to point this out because I learned about this, you know, kind of mnemonic nuance here, or linguistic nuance in Veroscope. So he's saying when she says I, like the stutter I's, is because she's basically going through her mind quickly with under cognitive load or stress, essentially. Like, what am I going to say? What's the story I'm going to tell? What's the lie I'm going to come up with for this? So she comes up with 3 different stories, you know, in her mind. She's processing quickly. The first 2 weren't going to work. You know, they weren't good enough lies that were going to fool them, so she could hide up whatever it is she's hiding here. So then on the third eye, she finally came up with what she was going to say. Now, if you apply that also to what Tammy Lee in the little intro I played just asked Chris Watts, did Nichol know anything about this? You know, he says he does the same thing. I don't remember exactly what he said. We can go back to it, but he does the 3 stutter start, which indicates that he's lying to cover up something. So does that mean that, yes, she did know about everything? Well, not necessarily, but based on information that we have learned about through our research and partnering with some other people, we know that she did know about the murders before the world did. Now, something interesting was Macker said, so I thought it was on the Monday night conversation when she mentioned there was no sheet on the bed. So I just noticed this in the past week while I was watching Veroscope. She also talks about no sheet on the bed while they're on the phone. He had the TV on Sunday night. So she says that both in their Monday night conversation and in their Sunday night conversation, Watts was on the bed and there was no sheet on the bed. So what I said to Macker was, so that means twice. And I just noticed it. We together have to figure out what that means. Does it mean that she knows that the sheet is a really big deal? And I think the answer is yes. Let me know in chat what you guys think.
Meantime, we've got all the hedging language sprinkled in between the deception language. It's almost constant. See, I've run out of deception flags. I need a new lot of deception flags.
Felt the urge to say it to me a lot more than I did to him because it was just all very new to me, and I was like, take your time with this. Like, you don't need to like rush that, you know? Like, I remember when he was in North Carolina and he was like trying to patch things up with his wife.
You don't need to rush that. Notice, not we don't need to rush that. Did you notice that? So psychologically, it's you don't need to rush this relationship, not we. Very strange.
And he told me he loved me, and I was like, don't say that to me. Like, please go try to fit. And I mean, and that might even be in the text too, where it's like, don't say those words to me and then go try to make peace with your wife and lay in bed with another woman. Like, just don't do that. And I was like, it's not that I don't appreciate what you're saying to me. It's like, just
notice the little sleight of hand there. Shanann became another woman. She's inserted herself into Shanann's place psychologically, and is saying to Chris, don't go and lie in bed with, and then diminishes Shanann's role. Another woman. She can't say her name, number one. She flirts between wife, another woman, but she cannot say Shanann. Very rare.
Isn't that so gross how he calls Shanann the other woman? And in the context here, it's like he says, oh, you can't say I love you to me, she's saying to Chris Watts, and then go lay in bed with another woman? Dude, bitch, that woman be his wife. Back off, bitch. Back off.
Barely. She can't say the children's names either.
It just didn't sit right for me, you know, so I just feel like...
Almost like an insecurity where you had to say that to you? Or?
I don't know. I think he like... Looking back at all this now, I don't think he was trying to fix things with her. So saying "I love you" to me seemed like probably something that he genuinely meant. Like, I love this woman, and regardless of where he was going to end up that night. But to me, in the way that I was perceiving things, he had told me that he was trying to fix things with her. So it's just like, this is an inappropriate time. And I wasn't mad at him. And I'm pretty sure that's in the text too, where it was very like calm, but it's just like, it's almost disrespectful, where it's like, please don't. I'm like, you know, if we get to that point where it is you and me, like, yes, you can say that, but don't, not then. Like, that's.
So you thought he was very genuine when he said that?
Yeah, I did. I mean, and he wrote it. It's in all those cards I gave you. Not in all of them, but like the later ones.
And
thank you.
When you said it to him, you said you meant it when you said it.
Yes, I just didn't say as frequently as he said it. Like, sometimes he would say it, and I was just like, for me, it was still like very, very new. So I kind of like took my time and only said it when I was just like, this is a really important moment.
So you got, I mean, in the short period of time that you guys were together, he became very attached to you.
Yes, very, very.
I mean, he's
attached.
sending cards,
flowers.
He's telling you he loves you. He sends you flowers. Does he buy you any other gifts?
I wouldn't have wanted them anyways. It's flowers.
No, wouldn't have wanted them. No, thank you. Forget the Hermes handbag. You can forget the shoes. Wouldn't want them. The Louboutins, no, throw them away. And definitely no jewelry. Maybe a plant, perhaps, for my birthday.
This is enough. You can't. I don't need expensive stuff.
Okay. But he becomes very attached to you.
Yes.
You guys are talking multiple times a day, at least. You're seeing each other on a regular basis.
Yep.
So it's a very and his wife is not around, nor are his children. So there's a lot of time for you guys to build your relationship in this first four weeks or so. Is that fair?
Yeah, and even when she was back, I mean, it was still like we were still spending time together. He was still spending time with his children, and I had my own life. Like, I mean, there was 1 week where I just like went out of town with my friends for my birthday. I wasn't even around the whole like last few days of June up until the 3rd of July. I was like gone, you know. And then there was another like last weekend I had a friend impromptu come in town from out of state, and I hosted her for a few days. And it's like I still did my own thing all the time. Like, whether he was there or not, like, if my friends were like, hey, we want to make plans, I would tell them, like, we're not hanging out today because I want to go see.
I don't know how long it goes quiet for. Should I fast forward it a touch?
You just told your dad about Chris recently.
I wouldn't have told people. It's too early. I mean, people.
So you don't tell your friends, hey, I got a boyfriend.
People come and go. I mean, dating scene these days is like, it sucks. I mean,
people come and go. So she's very laissez-faire about the whole thing, considering what's happened. People come and go. And here she sits, 2 little girls murdered. And the wife, the other woman, she relegated Shanann from the wife to the other woman and put herself in the place above it all, where the wife is the other woman suddenly. Unbelievable, this lady.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. I mean, it would have to be something, even with Sean. I think I was with Sean for probably like 6 or 7 months before I brought him home to my family. I mean, I really, same with, that was the guy.
Before I brought him home to my family. I like the way Dad nods there. I'm getting visions of, what was that movie?
Meet the Fockers.
When I'm watching you. That
Meet
comedy.
the Fockers.
When he killed the cat, or nearly killed the cat.
I was in a previous relationship with, but
this one you were a little bit more, you said he's with 2 women. Was that one of your considerations for not telling anybody about him?
Yes. Well, I mean, it was like, okay, like this, to me, it wasn't going to be an extended thing. Like, if it got to the point where we were like dating for like 3 or 4 months and he's still talking about, oh, I'm going to move out and I'm going to sell the house, I think at that point I probably would have just been like, I don't think.
And he's still talking. See, I get the impression that it's her constantly the one who is talking about all of this because she's bringing it up all the time. I think she's twisting it. She's trying to pass responsibility rather than share responsibility.
You're really like doing these things you say you're going to do, and I probably would have just like left because at that point it's not fair. It wasn't fair to me in the first place. It wasn't fair to her in the first place. It wasn't fair to any of us in the first place. You know, it wasn't fair to his family for him to have an affair. It wasn't fair to me to have him lie to me and make me think that everything is going to plan. And still to this day, I don't even know what's a lie and what's not. I don't even know if they were like filing for divorce. I don't know if they were putting the house up. I don't even know anymore what is real and what is not. But what I do know is it's just like, you know, that wasn't fair to me either, because if I'd have known not even all the truth, but like obviously some of it, I wouldn't have even engaged in any of this in the first place. And it just, I mean, and that's the part for me, just like on my personal level, outside of everything that is happening, that is going to affect me long term. It's like, you know, I'm going to wake up every day and know that like this mom and her unborn child and these 2 little girls are not around anymore. And
Wait, before we get to the intense part of this interview, you know, with her talking about Sean, poor Sean, he is the same ex-boyfriend that she mentions in her 7-page letter to law enforcement that I call the cover my ass letter, that Sean is not talented at oral sex. Poor Sean. I mean, Sean, hey, Sean, yo, we got to talk. Email me. I'm going to give you my number. Why don't you come up here and watch The Obsession? We will give you platform, open forum. You can say anything you want. Sean, come on, boy. Tell us everything. She said you suck in bed. Huh.
It breaks my heart. It is so, oh my God. And then I have to think about like the consequences of his actions and how they affect everybody else. Like all of these, her family's impacted. My name is about to be like slandered for probably a while. I don't know how long that's going to take to heal, but I would not be surprised if it's going to be hard to go out in public sometimes for a couple of years. And that really hurts me.
So it really hurts me that she might not be able to go out in public for a couple of years. How many days is this after the 2 little children were put into the oil tanks? Is it 2? It's 2 or 3 days, isn't it? And what's she concerned about? Me. Well, not me, her. She's concerned about me. Me. Isn't that amazing?
And I'm just like, this is a horrible of his actions and how they affect everybody else. Like all of these, her family's impacted. My name is about to be like.
My name. What's important to her? My name. Me.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt him, but I kind of interrupted when she's about to go into this super narcissistic type personality, selfish, center of the world, heartless rant. And I just want to get to the very beginning of it. Listen to the question she is being asked and to how she responds and the subject matter that is a topic of discussion of her statements in her responses. It's really incredible. I'm just going to go back like a minute. I just request everyone pay close attention here. This really gives you so much insight into the heart, soul, mind, and spirit of this she-devil woman thing.
What did you guys, or pardon me, on Sunday from 9 to 11?
So the pantomime's over. She's done the act.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's important to note that Kevin Kovac just quietly asked, okay, on Sunday night, that long phone call, what is it you were talking about? So the beginning of this whole hysterical, dramatic diatribe situation is him asking her about the content of the 111-minute phone conversation. This is super important. Yeah, and for those of you who are just coming in, welcome. So happy you're here. You guys have done a great job hitting the likes. If you haven't yet, please do. Say hello. Let us know where you're coming from. And we are watching Veroscope, who uses a very specific, scientifically proven, tried and true method of forensic statement analysis to detect deception in a person's statements. And here we are listening to this one empanada thing.
Talked a few
Now let's
times.
carry on. So, okay, but that's over.
Sunday, I think so. I need to think.
Everything's all right now.
Take a couple breaths and take
your time.
a second.
That's it. There. Ready?
Sunday night. I don't even know. I don't think I was like concerned about anything at that point.
You guys had had a nice meal the night before. You knew his wife was probably coming home late that evening.
Oh, you know what? I still don't remember what we talked about. I like, honestly, like we talk about so much random stuff. Like it's so hard to pinpoint some of these things.
So this is all going back to the very first communication that she gave the officer, which is, you ain't gonna get the exact words at the exact times. It ain't gonna happen. And she's continued with this basis ever since, sometimes claiming that 6 weeks is just so long that it's impossible to remember what anyone said when. And here we're about to see another example of her little patter and her pitch, that it's just so much was discussed, it's impossible to remember anything that was discussed. This is what she's trying to sell you, or him. And this is convincing language. It's also unnecessary language. So she's got deceptive markers going in everywhere. She is not helping. She is withholding information. She is trying to strategize the meeting. She's trying to control the meeting. She realized halfway through, isn't she supposed to show any sort of emotion for the children? And did her little 30-second cry act, but then decided, right, let's get on with it because I need to get home. I'm hungry and I'm tired. Let's carry on.
I don't remember what we talked about. I do remember that was a long phone conversation that we probably talked about all sorts of stuff. One thing I do remember though, that I didn't remember earlier when I was talking.
I'm so sorry, super quick. I just showed Life's a Beach and then Life's a Beach disappeared on Facebook. Or I don't know if you just deleted the comment or something. I'm not sure, but I just want to make sure somebody didn't put Life's a Beach in timeout. And Life's a Beach and Kayla, welcome. So glad you guys are here, and welcome everybody else who's coming in.
Talking to Mark. So this is like where I'm.
So the complete word salad goes along something along the lines of, no idea what we talked about. We talked about so much. How could you know what we talked about? We talked about so much. We talked about something, but no idea what. And that's it. That's the word salad that she repeats. Or something like that.
Starting to remember like little bits and pieces. I don't remember. Yeah, I know. So the phone conversation.
And then along the lines of, what I don't remember, what I do remember, I remembered little bits and pieces, but not very much. Constant. If you add it all up, she's basically saying, I'm not going to tell you diddly squat.
I don't remember what was in the phone conversation. Probably nothing of relevance, to be honest with you, but usually.
I don't know. Probably nothing of relevance, to be honest with you, but usually. Do you see? It's just complete deception constantly. Let's carry on.
He talks to me when he's like down in the basement in his bed before he goes to bed and before I go to bed. And I could hear the TV on, which I thought was kind of weird. I didn't ask him. I just heard it in the background. And I remember thinking, and it was like right before we got off the phone, I was like, why the hell is he up? And there's like no TV downstairs. So I was like, well, maybe, I don't know.
No TV in the basement where he usually calls you from.
Yeah, and I don't know how many TVs they have. Like, I've never been in their bedroom. Like,
okay, so this is what she says in response to, remember, the ultimate question that started this whole thing off was Kobach asking her about the phone conversation. So he starts to ask another question. She cuts him off. She goes, oh, yeah. What I do remember is that he was up late and he was watching TV. And I was like, why is he watching TV? It's so late. Like, okay, all right, yeah. I mean, it's, I don't know.
I went upstairs once and it was like to their little playroom and I just like looked at it and I was like, that's super cute that your girls have books, and that was like it. And other than that, I have never been in any of those rooms in that upstairs. Like to me, it was just like, you don't know, like ever. I had no, so I don't know if he has any other TVs. I'm assuming by like how much other nice stuff they have in their house, it wouldn't surprise me. So I'm not quite sure what room he was in at that point. But I just remember hearing the TV and I was like, it was just weird to me because I was like, why are you watching TV right now? It is like super late. And that was the only thing.
And he had phoned you? Or were you guys already talking when the TV was going? Or
I just remember like I picked up on it like later, but I don't think it was like throughout the whole conversation. Okay. Like I just remember it being towards the end because I remember thinking like, wow, it's really late.
Something I didn't ask you about the house because you'd been there twice, and it just made me remember. Do you remember how you guys accessed the house?
Now, the way that she answers this question when Kobach asked, do you remember how she answered the house? And her sing-songy voice to me is just so weird, but I can't quite figure it out. Pay attention and let me know what you think is up with this manner of answering the question regarding, do you remember how you guys accessed the house? Now, let me tell you that when she talks about going there twice, the first time she says, oh yeah, Chris let me in. That's because Chris Watts on July 4th left her house early in the morning because Shanann was freaking out. She started calling early in the morning. He wasn't answering. And Nichol was mad that he left. So she drove to his house and showed up on his front doorstep. Now, let's put that in context. July 4th would have been 1 week after they said that they started dating, which was the day when Shanann went to North Carolina after returning from their San Diego trip. That's also the same night when Chris Watts showed up on her doorstep with 2 boxes of condoms, one unopened and one opened and partially used, the box I'm talking about. So this being only 1 week after they had apparently started dating, when she got pissed and just showed up at his doorstep unannounced and uninvited, well, you'd imagine they lived 25 minutes away from each other, that she hadn't been to his house yet if they'd only been seeing each other kind of casually like for a week, and she says she hadn't, he said she hadn't. So how did she even know where he lived at that point? Just wanted to throw that out there. But here, check out the very strange manner in which she answers the question about how'd you guys enter the house?
That's a good question. So once through the garage, and I think once through the front door. I think the first time was through the front door, I think. And I think the second time was through the garage.
Was there anything unique about either of the doors?
Do you see what I'm talking about there with a little finger in her mouth, like, infantilizing herself and being, I don't know. I think the first time it was through the front door and the second time it was through the garage. It's just so bizarre. And I think that's the only time we hear her talking in that manner. It's just freaking weird. And I just want to know what you guys think of that.
When you went into the house that might not be typical of another house.
Like a unique door?
Not the door itself.
On their door.
Okay, there's a camera on the, which door?
It's on the front door, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm asking.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did he use a key to access the house?
No. He did not. The first time I went.
Okay. Did you notice the slight inability to swallow there? Now, I'll tell you a quick story about deception. When somebody is under a little bit of pressure. Now, remember the last time that your mouth went dry, and it's difficult to swallow, and it can be for multiple reasons, but being under the cognitive stress of lying, of trying to hide things or not wanting things to be known, sometimes that that inability to swallow, that dry mouth occurs. Now, the Chinese, you'll love this story. The Chinese, many thousands of years ago, one of the ways that they would detect deception was with a rice ball. So they would have these rice balls, and the two, let's say there's an argument between two village traders, let's say merchants, and they're brought before the court, and they would be asked to each put a rice ball in their mouth. The way it worked was whoever had the driest mouth, in other words, the most nervous, wouldn't make the rice ball very wet. They wouldn't produce the saliva, you see. And so then the rice balls would be put on a tray and brought back to the judge, who would examine them. And if you didn't have very much spit, that was it. You were the guilty one. So there is some biology behind their way. But anyway, there's a little story for you. Let's carry on.
Over there, he just let me in. And then the second time, did we go through the garage? I don't remember. I've been through his garage before. I went through his front door once, though, because I remember he had just cleaned. It was the first time I went through his front door, because he had just cleaned his carpets, and he had moved all.
Okay, so now this is very common as well with gaslighters and deceivers. We get the story, we get the comfortable story, and it could have been at about another time, but they'll sit in this comfortable story for 5 minutes if they're allowed to, because it's just repeating a load of rubbish that's nothing to do with the actual events of the last few days.
The furniture out of the way, and the furniture was kind of in the way of the door, and he's like, the door doesn't open all the way right now. I'll move all the furniture back when the carpet dries. So I do remember that, just kind of offhandedly. And the second time, I want to say we went through his garage, because I remember.
Okay, so she's giving unnecessary details and making a great big hoo-ha about how cooperative she is, and points at him and tells him that she does remember that. Well, thank you very much. So this is pointing out the completely irrelevant fact that they've just given you, and making a big deal out of they've been so cooperative, they've given you this irrelevant fact. It's deceptive. Do you see?
Remember his garage. I remember, yeah.
So he was at the house when you went there. You were never there by yourself.
He was at,
or he took you there.
The first time he was already there,
okay,
and I met up with him, and the second time we went there together.
So the front door, I asked if he had used a key.
He let me in.
Okay. So there's a, those keypads where you can enter an access code. Do you remember seeing that on his door?
Like, I want to say vaguely, but to be honest with you, I don't remember. Like, he let me in that day.
So he never gave you the code to access his home?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
You talked about a security system. There was a camera on the front door. Was that just like what a Ring doorbell is that goes to your phone?
I don't even know what it looked like. I only know that it existed, either because A, I wasn't paying attention the first time I was over there, but B, because of all the stuff that's going on right now. That's the only reason I know it.
I only know it exists.
Now, do you notice how when she was just answering that, for like that, she looked right up at the camera? Let me just go back a few seconds. Watch this. She looks right up at the camera, and there's so much that we could discuss about the security system, and I don't know if you guys want to go into that rabbit hole right now, but we could come back to it. I have a lot to say. Here.
A, I wasn't paying attention the first time I was.
Here, let's go back. Watch how much she looks up at the camera, if you can see that.
There was a camera on the front door. Was that just?
And she takes a drink here. She's nervous because she is nervous about that security system. I am sure of that. And again, we can talk about that later.
Like what a Ring doorbell is that goes to your phone?
I don't even know what it looked like. I only know that it existed, either because A, I wasn't paying attention the first time I was over there, but B, because of all the stuff that's going on right now. That's the only reason I know it.
I only know it existed, the security camera, because I wasn't paying attention. Did she just tell you that? Let's just listen to the reason that she knows it existed again.
Talked about a security system. There was a camera on the front door. Was that just like what a Ring doorbell is that goes to your phone?
I don't even know what it looked like. I only know that it existed, either because A, I wasn't paying attention the first time I was over there, but B.
Okay. I only know it existed. Now I'm going to give you two reasons why I only knew it existed. You can either take A or B. Do you see the little technique she's doing? She's not even committing to the reason that she knows about the security camera system. Listen again. Listen really carefully.
You know what a Ring doorbell is that goes to your phone?
I don't even know what it looked like. I only know that it existed either because A, I wasn't paying attention the first time I was over there, but B,
I only know it existed because A, here's your first option. I wasn't paying any attention. I didn't know it was. Do you see? Listen one more time.
You know what a Ring doorbell is that goes to your phone?
I don't even know what it looked like. I only know that it existed either because A, I wasn't paying attention the first time.
I only know it existed because here's your two choices. A, I wasn't paying attention. So that's how I know the security system existed, because A, here's your choice, take your pick as to which one it is, because A, I wasn't paying attention, and that's how I knew about the security system. Do you see, if we slow down and actually listen to her words and get that linguistic empathy where we enter her mind, we can see that she's bullshitting. Can you? Are you with me? Can you see it too? The only reason I knew about the security system was A, I wasn't paying attention. Let's listen to what the B is.
I was over there, but B, because of all the stuff that's going on right now. That's the only reason I know this.
Because of all the stuff that's going on right now. That's the only reason. So take your pick. A, because I wasn't paying attention when I was over there. Or B, because of all the stuff that's going on right now. That's the reason I know about the security cameras and the security systems. So she's sensitive about why she knows about them. So much so that she's willing to lie and give complete bullshit reasons. And hope that it flies over the detective's head that he's been given a choice of A or B to pick from, both of which make no sense at all. No wonder she's looking at him like, are you buying this sucker? He's not. I believe he sees through her straight away. And we know that from the telephone call. After she made the 2 a.m. call, he's chosen a strategy, whether you agree with it or whether you don't. He's chosen the strategy of tiptoeing around the rose bushes in order to extract the information that he can out of her. But all we're seeing is a complete lack of cooperation, blatantly being told that she's not going to let us know what was said, by whom, where, and when. She's got very strange attitude about the security cameras. Let's carry on.
Did you remember seeing any cameras anywhere in the house?
No.
Okay. Did he ever tell you about the alarm system or give you an access code to the alarm system?
No. I wouldn't have asked for that. I wouldn't have wanted that anyways.
Sorry to regress to that.
No, you're okay.
Go back to the phone call, or where you noticed the television in the background of the phone call.
Yep. So I didn't know what room he was in, but I was just like, I just thought it was weird because he's always like, before I go to bed and I lay down, he's always like kind of trying to do the same thing. We just talk. It's like a really chill thing till one of us is about to pass out, and then that's like the end of it. But it was strange because I was like, the TV's on. I remember I was thinking, I was like, maybe he's waiting up for her, and then I was like, maybe not. I didn't know. It wasn't something that like alerted me. It was just different from his standard operating procedure because whether his wife is home or she.
Just different than in his SOP, she tells us. Unbelievable.
He's gone. He's always got kind of like the standard op when he calls me. So that's why it was kind of like unique.
Okay. Because
it doesn't really fluctuate when she's there and when she's not there. He's pretty like free reign with what he does.
Mm-hmm. So anything important that you recall during that conversation about the children, about his wife, about what he was doing the next day, what he had planned, anything like that? Did he tell you any of that information?
I remember he told me he had to go to the field and not to the office on Monday morning.
Okay. Did he specifically say where he needed to go on Monday morning?
No, I don't ask him for those sites. There's like, Anadarko's got like thousands of sites.
No is the answer. She says, I don't ask him about this, and then starts pontificating about more excuses and reasons why. This is just deceptive pattern. Most normal people, if they were asked that question, could say no, but she goes into a diatribe of excuses as to why no is not sufficient by itself psychologically to her. She has to back up her no with all this other evidence, as if she won't be believed. It's deceptive.
If he were to tell me, I wouldn't even.
They're just like random numbers and stuff, right?
Well, he told me, he said, I got to go to a site. I got to go check out like a valve or something where they think that they had a release, something like that.
Did he mention the town or anywhere?
No. He just told me that that's what he had to go do. He's like, he was like, I won't see you in the office in the morning. Because I see him, but I don't actually like talk to him. Like I will go in the cafeteria. I will put my lunch in the fridge, and him and his whole team are sitting in there, and I don't talk to any of them. I just walk out. But anyways, yeah, he's like, so I won't see you. I'm going to the field, which is not an uncommon thing for the ops guys to like just go straight to the field. Like it happens. Like typically they go to the office, I would say like 3 or 4 days a week, but there are days where him and his other team members are not there, or like I'll get in there and some days the cafeteria is packed and they're all there. Okay. And other days I get in there and there's
Now, please take note that what she's talking about right now, all this bullshit nonsense she's talking about right now is, again, in response to the question, what did you talk about during the 111-minute phone conversation just hours before your boyfriend's family was murdered, right? And she's going on and on about bringing her lunch into the lunchroom, putting it in the fridge, and somebody's in. But the important thing to note here is that she does say that Chris told her he would not be in the office the next morning. Now, she does answer the question, what did you talk about in the 111-minute phone call another time? And that is in one of the phone interviews with Kevin Kobach. And it is in the redacted half of that interview. Both phone calls that Kevin Kobach did with Nichol Kessinger, like an hour and a half long and something like that around there. And for both of them, the second half is redacted. But on this channel, we do have every word of every recorded description with every recorded interview, sometimes through the transcription. Slow down, Kelly. With Nichol Kessinger. All of those videos are in a playlist on this channel. There is a manuscript that is available. It was not in the discovery, but we do have it. And so I read it out for you. Now, when she answers that question during the phone interview, she gives a completely different answer, just like she does anytime she talks about what was said in that 111-minute phone call more than once. On every single topic, each answer completely contradicts the former answer. Does that make sense? Pretty interesting. Now, it's also important to note that Veroscope here, he's not familiar with the case, which I think is really great, actually. He's purely just applying his method of forensic statement analysis to detect deception in her statements. I almost think it's better when you are not knowledgeable about a case, because he's pointing out all the same things that those of us who are knowledgeable of the case have been pointing out for years. How about that?
Only like 3 or 4 of them.
So it didn't cause you any concern that he said, I'm going to the field on Monday, I won't see you. That wasn't...
Okay, let's have a little look then at the decomposition. Now, so we're going to be looking a little bit at the science of deception, but only a little bit each video. The reason being, it's enough this way that you can learn it all without being overloaded. And I promise you, within a few months, your ability to be able to detect deception via your WhatsApps and via your emails will be very high, very high. But first, let's learn a little bit of the history, because the science is important to understand, and how we relate the science of deception detection to the practical, everyday ability to actually do it in the field and not get stuck in the lab. In other words, to fly the aircraft outside the cockpit, don't get stuck in the dials. So anyway, a decomposition. What's a decomposition? Because we're going to be learning more about a decomposition as we go, because we've had a breakthrough. We've had a Simpsons paradox, and that leads to all sorts of potential decompositions, including a chap called Snowden.
Oops. So what he's talking about here is the science behind the methodology he uses. And guys, I think you should watch this. It's very valuable. I've been watching Veroscope since Veroscope first popped up on YouTube. And while watching this, especially at first, when he would go through a lot of the decoding himself, like manually as he was doing the video, would take notes on it. And you pick this stuff up really quick. It's really awesome and valuable stuff. So I'm going to let this play.
Anyway, I'll tell you that story. I'll tell you that story later. So a decomposition means taking something apart to see what's inside. Over the years, researchers around the world tested 79 different language clues for telling truth from lies. Things like how many times the person said I, how many details they gave, whether they used past tense or present tense, whether they hedged with words like maybe, and each study tested a few clues at a time. Makes sense, doesn't it? Because if we're trying to work out how do people lie, we've got to have an organized study, and there has been organized studies over the last 60 years, and we've just had that breakthrough. Veroscope just found the Simpsons paradox, which showed that the field was measuring deception at the wrong resolution, and when the resolution is corrected, we get 10 times the deception signal. Those science papers have gone out to the community. Everyone's able to download them from Open Science Framework, run the tests themselves. Some of the replications only take an hour. If you're a scientist and you're looking for a paper, the replications can take an hour. Or if you are a hobbyist, you can do it yourself. It doesn't take a lot. If you know a little bit about Python, you just have to run a script and you'll get the public data sets that the universities did when they studied 1,000 students, and they got them to lie about one thing and tell the truth about another day. So perhaps lie about going to the cinema and seeing a film, but tell the truth about what you did last week. And they analyze them. Anyway, back to the story, where I get sidetracked so easily, don't I? Passionate about discovering the advances that we can get in deception detection. So the results were scattered across dozens of journals in different countries. Don't forget what a decomposition means. In 2015, Valerie and her team at the University of Marburg in Germany did the painstaking work of gathering all of these results together into one place. A lot of work, because there'd been disparate tests all over the world. Scientists call this a meta-analysis, which means combining the results of many studies to see the bigger picture. So we've got 79 clues, over 1,000 individual results, all sorted and compared. And when divided into channel 1 clues, remember, things that measure the story, the content, the big words the speaker chooses to say, and the channel 2 clues, things that measure the small words, the pronouns, the articles, and the tenses the brain produces on its own. The channel 2 clues did better. Well, we know that, don't we? Because the lies happen in the unconscious area of the brain that produces the channel 2 words, the small words. But the real discovery is which specific clues work. And here is what deception actually looks like in language. So somebody in the comments from the last video about Nichol Kessinger, they said, and I do forgive me because I forget your name, but you'll know who you are. And I did read it and I did comment back, but I want to give you a better answer, hence this explanation here. And their question was, but I speak like this. I often hedge. I often say maybe. I often talk like that. So hedging shifts at the sensitive moment. In other words, we need to establish the baseline first. So you can't just say, oh, hedging is deceptive. Oh, they're hedging, they are deceptive. That's not how it works. We work off the baseline. People hedge differently. Some say, I think a lot, and maybe a lot, and about constantly. And others are precise and more definite in their language. Neither pattern on its own tells you anything about truth or deception. A person can be constantly hedging in their language, and it doesn't tell you that they're being truthful or deceptive at that moment in time. That's just their baseline. That is just how the person talks. So as we learn more about statement analysis and forensic linguistics intelligence, the point that I'm laboring is that we have to get the baseline first. We can't just say, oh, the person hedges a lot and drops their pronouns a lot, because maybe that's how they talk. And if it is, then we need to measure from that position first. Now, the diagnostic value is not in hedging itself, but in where. So where is the change occurring? Are they suddenly becoming a lot less hedging or a lot more? Is there a change? That's what we're looking for. Where is the change? And when? When is the change? So it's not just what happens, which we call baseline, but where the changes are. And more importantly, changes to the person's own baseline. You see, the scientists for 60 years, they were making the error of measuring the person against other people. They thought the way to catch liars is to compare your words to other people's words. But of course, that doesn't work because we all speak differently, if you think about it logically. But it's easy to get trapped in a system, and the field of deception detection was trapped in that system. So they were measuring against others. But here's the other mistake they were making. They weren't measuring the part of the statement where the lie was. They were measuring the entire statement. And what we know about liars, the entire statement is mostly truthful. It's only a tiny part of the statement where perhaps they snip out 2 minutes that they don't want you to know about and, you know, stitch the film back together again, but with that part missing. Or sometimes they lie by commission and actually add a direct bald-faced lie in. But in terms of the entire statement, the lie part is just a small part, isn't it? That's just but what the scientists did, they made 2 errors. Well, they actually made a lot more errors, but I'll tell you about these 2. They measured you against other people, and they measured your entire statement, 95% of it being truthful, including that little bit that was a lie, but the signal was washed out because they measured the entire statement that was mainly truthful. So now we've got their problem, measuring the entire statement that's mainly truthful and then comparing it to other people and hoping they'll find the lie that way. And what did they get? Do you remember? They got 54% at best, a coin flip. And then we call that a Simpson's paradox, because essentially the signal was cancelling each other out. But when you measure the person against themselves at the point in the statement where the lie is, when the lie is, the signal, the deception signal comes back times 10. So they measure it using this thing called Cohen's number. And in this case, when we measured Locatoni's university data set for deception, we got Cohen's number increased tenfold simply by measuring correctly.
Okay, so that gives you a little insight into the science behind Veroscope. And again, that is why I just love this methodology so much, because it is so scientifically based. So Sky Dream asks, when and where is the change in the baseline? So the change in a baseline behavior, for those of you who don't know, I'm a behavioral therapist. That's what I do for my profession. It's my career. I'm trained, accredited, all that good stuff. So the change in a baseline for behavior, and speaking is a behavior, the manner in which you speak is a behavior, the intonation in your speech is a part of behavior. It's all behavioral. The change in the baseline is where we can identify an external factor acting on the manner and the expression in which you behave. So when you're trying to detect deception, it could very well indicate deception. It could indicate, signs of stress. Like if you're talking, you've been asked a question that is causing you stress and anxiety within. So the behavior that you express, in this case, it's language, it's talking, is going to change. It's going to diverge from the baseline. Because if everything is all well and good, if we are living at homeostasis, there is no stress or anxiety, there are no external pressures acting upon us, all of our behaviors, including the way we talk, what we say, is going to register right around baseline. So movement from baseline indicates something positive or negative force acting upon you one way or another. Does that make sense? Jay Cloverland says, Jay Coverload said, I'm sorry to butcher your name there, says cases are like puzzles. Better to have as many pieces as possible before evaluating suspects. I totally agree. And that's why I love this analysis. I also like Deception Detective and what he has to contribute to the conversation. I think it's all super valuable. There are people out there that are full of BS, but the ones that are valuable are very valuable, And I told Alyssa I would go back to some of her former comments. Let's see here. Okay, here's another behavioral therapy question. Does anyone know if she may have Tourette's or a similar neurological condition? Even if you didn't know that's what it was, Alyssa. She does a lot of twitching of the face and body during interviews, and I've always been curious about that. So I have noticed that too, and I do not think that her twitching or her kind of like, abnormal, diverging from baseline perhaps movements, but we don't know her baseline of movements and expression, but that's a whole different thing. I'm not going to go down that road. I personally don't think it rises to the level that we typically see in Tourette, but maybe not. Like I have a teenager that I used to work with very recently, who was diagnosed with Tourette's, and apparently from what her records state and what from she herself states, it used to be more severe, more of those more pronounced movements, and it is very subtle now. In fact, when I first met her, I didn't perceive it at all. I had to read her records to understand that she had that condition, and then I started to notice it. But I think for her, those jerky movements and things are more a sign of her internal anxiety due to the situation she's in and the questions that she's going to be expected to answer during the course of those interviews. To me, those things that you're talking about, Alyssa, seem very consistent with somebody in a state of agitation and anxiety due to stress because they do not want to be there. They don't want to be doing what they're doing, right? And then, Alyssa asked another question. I meant to start, but I forgot to. I know. You wanted to know, because I mentioned that every time Nichol Kessinger does manage to actually answer anything about the 111-minute phone conversation, when she is prompted to talk about it, when a question is asked of her, every time she answers that question, the details that she gives us are inconsistent with the previous time she answered that question. And one of those topics is when she talks about what Chris told her during the 111-minute conversation regarding what he was going to be doing on Monday morning. And as I said, the other time that she talks about it, it's in the redacted portion of one of the phone interviews. So I happened to pull that up for you. So let's take a look. I didn't want to misquote, what the inconsistency was. So let's just hear it. I'm going to read it out here in this video. Just let me bring it in. And hey, thank you if you're just getting here. We're so excited you're here. Please say hello in chat. Let us know where you're from, especially if you are new to the chat. We want you to join in. And please, if you don't mind, if you do please hit the like. It just takes a moment. And you guys have no idea how super helpful it is to a channel. So please, if you don't mind, go ahead and do that. I'd really appreciate it. All right. So again, this second part of both phone interviews, I was able to get my hands on the manuscript of what was said in those interviews, because there is no audio provided for the second half of both interviews. And in both interviews, it's kind of interesting what they're talking about when the audio cuts out. But to answer Alyssa's question about the differing story that she tells about what Chris Watts told her he was going to be doing Monday morning in the 111-minute phone conversation, let's take a listen to this. I might not be right on the money here, but let's try it. And I was like, and again, like, it's not an abnormal thing for him to not go to the office, but it's less common. Like, oh, let's see. I was pretty damn close. Let me just go back a couple seconds. And again, this is her talking about what he said he was going to be doing Monday morning. This was during a live stream, so you're going to see some comments of that one. I couldn't find the uploaded video I had. It's out there somewhere, but this one just came up first.
Something like that. And he's like, she probably just took one of those. And I just thought it was weird because several weeks earlier he had told me how.
So this is where the audio in this phone interview ends, and then I start reading the manuscript.
With EpiPens worse. I'm like, if they're not expensive.
Okay, and this is when our audio is going to cut out. So before we get into that part, now remember, it's shortly after the audio cuts out when she reveals the only details about the 111-minute phone conversation are revealed by either herself or Chris Watts in the entirety. So Mary Bywater says here, she is saying that because she rang him every night whilst he was there and was jealous in North Carolina. She is rewriting history. She is distorting the truth to protect herself. Yeah, like she's a nice person. Right, exactly. I think that all of these lies that she's telling in this interview, the ones where you're like, where the hell did she come up with this? Why is she talking about this? Is because she now knows in that video that I was telling you about, I'll put a link for in the description again. It's the missing text messages between Nichol Kessinger and Kevin Kobach. It shows all of the text messages that were between she and Kevin Kobach, and then it disperses little interview segments in between in chronological order so we can understand what it is she learned about what law enforcement know and how she responded to it with her lies. And I think Mary Bywaters right here sums it up perfectly. It's the reason behind many of her lies that otherwise seem completely senseless. Okay, let's go on.
How do you have a stash? You don't have a stash. Nobody can afford a stash.
Right, they're very expensive.
And, yeah, so I almost was like...
Again, the audio mysteriously cuts off. It sounds like there's some glitchiness happening. I don't know. But when you hear this, I'd like to know your opinion. Do you think this audio cut was intentional or was it a technology glitch? So they're talking about Celeste's nut allergy and EpiPens, and Chris saying that they had a stash of EpiPens in the basement. So Kobach says, right, they're expensive. Kessinger says, and yeah, I almost was like, so at the time, like, I didn't think anything of it. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, that was a lie too. And so, okay. So there's that. And then also in that same conversation, so then I started questioning him about why he didn't go to the office on Monday. And I was like, and again, like, it's not an abnormal thing for him to not go to the office, but it's less common. Like, I would say it happens maybe once, like every couple weeks, or maybe once or twice a month. Like, it's pretty like, it occurs, so it's not like extremely abnormal, but I just thought it was ironic that his wife was missing and he wasn't at the office that morning. Okay. And so, here's the deal. So Sunday night, he told me I have to go straight to the field. I mean, I guess that's something else you probably want to know. Okay. So I didn't think of that. So Sunday night during which conversation? So one we're talking about now, you referred to it as your first conversation. I don't remember. You had two that were lengthy. One, I believe, was from 9 to 11 at night. And we had talked a little bit. It was about this previously, about him saying that he wasn't going to go to the office. Yeah, so I'm sorry. It's like I jump around sometimes. That's okay. When I start remembering stuff, so the big conversation that we're talking about, the really important one where he like gave me all those like weird one-off details that he was the first long conversation on Monday night. I don't know what time that was, but that was like the first long one where he said all of that stuff. Like, all of that was in one conversation. That and when you say all that stuff, like the smelly sheets, talking about the ring, the wedding ring. Okay. The weird part where he slipped up about like him being the one to push the say, okay, gotcha, them separating and not her. So, and and then the EpiPen thing, and then all of that. And then so back to Sunday, August the 12th. That night, I believe, we only had one phone conversation. I looked at it. I pulled up my phone records today, and I'm pretty sure we only had one phone conversation. And then I think I just went to bed. Okay. But on Sunday night, the phone conversation, that's the one where I heard the TV on in the background, and I was like, maybe he's staying up waiting for her. Do you remember I told you guys that? Yes. I was like, I think it was really weird that the TV was on because he talks to me when he's in bed, and he wasn't in bed. So that this is the same conversation. In that conversation, he told me, I have to go straight to the field tomorrow. And he was just like, you know, like I'm not going to get to see you in the morning. And I was just like, all right. And I was like, why? And just like, I gotta go. He's like, I gotta go check out a site and like a release in the morning. And a release is like when the oil industry has like a release of any type of like oil products or anything, like from any of our equipment. And I was like, I remember asking him, I was like, well, why would you have to go check out the release? You're not part of the environmental team. So when you say release, is that he was like a spill? Kind of, yeah. I mean, I don't want to call it or like something's leaking or because, yeah, like something's leaking. Like, okay. Anything that's involved with the oil and gas industry, anytime, like, so like if a piece of equipment leaks, I mean, you've got to think they've got millions and millions of pieces of equipment. Like, sure, it happens. And so he's like, I have to go check out a release. And I remember asking him, I was like, why do you need to go do that? You're not part of the environmental team because like our field operators, they will find releases and they'll call our environmental team, which is like who I work for. They don't call me though, because I'm not the one that deals with that stuff, but they do call people like in my department and they say, hey, I'm on this job site and you know, like a tank battery is leaking or like oh, that's weird. I don't know why the sound just cut out. Just me. What's going on here? All right. Let's see. Give me a sec. Weird. Now that part really didn't seem to haunt me. Unintelligible. Oh yeah. Jeez. Okay. Here, it'll pick back up in a minute. I'm not sure what happened. Sorry. Let me entertain you while we get through the muted part. So, Red Sony says, she was really bothered by him being in the marital bed. Yeah, I totally agree. Because remember, she thought that he was always in the basement. He was relegated to the basement bedroom, and that was that. Oil tanks leaking or something like that. And then we go out and assess it and clean it up and so on and so forth. So it's noted unintelligible. So those are actually specialists that go out and clean this up, and he's not one of those people. No, he's not. But sometimes, like those guys, like his job is important to like shut in oil wells if there's a leak or like shut valves if there's a leak. Like he manages the equipment. So when he was like he's like, I gotta go out, check a release. And I was like, why are you going to do that? That's not your job. And he was just like, I need to go check out some of the equipment where the release occurred. Now that part really didn't seem to haunt me. I mean, it makes sense that they're like, hey, we have a release. Send an operator out and make sure he said he had to do a lockout, tag out on this site. So that means that depending on where the release is, if it's near a piece of equipment that could be have like potential energy to be hazardous, what we do in the oil industry is what's called lockout tagout. And certified operators such as himself will go out there and they will pull a lock with a tag on the piece of equipment where you operate it, so that it cannot be in use. Like they'll de-energize the piece of equipment and like shut it down, and then they'll put a lockout tag out on it. And then the point is so then if the environmental team comes in to clean up the mess, nobody accidentally re-energizes this piece of equipment while we're trying to clean up the mess because it could injure somebody. Does that make sense? Yes, I got it. Okay, so now I'm remembering this just now, and he's like, I think I gotta go do a lockout tagout on some of that equipment for the release. Would that be something that would have been tracked? Certainly, there's a lot of paperwork and safety requirements and all sorts of things with each site. So if he was actually going to do a lockout tagout, would that be something that I'd be able to look up at record at Anadarko and know that he was actually assigned to do that? To be honest with you, probably. Again, I did not work with him, but if there's one thing that I do know about Anadarko, and I love, and I'm going to miss those guys so much, it's the fact that they're very safe. Like, that is, they're one of the best oil and gas companies because of how safe they are. So with that being said, I would be willing to bet that there's typically, well, like you, a protocol. Right. So I mean that there would have to be a known problem for him to do a lockout tagout, right? Yes. So yes. Somebody would have had to call and said, there's a, in your guys' words, release at the site. Then some boss or whoever it may be would call Chris and say, hey, Chris, I need you to go check this out. If you're a skilled equipment operator, you make the decision. You lock it out if you have to. Then the environmental team comes and cleans it up. So there's got to be like a track. Yep. Record of all that's going on. I'm assuming that there's probably is, because lockout, tag out, because if, I mean, it's to save lives. So it's a very serious thing. Right. It's a safety thing. And like, certainly certain people, yeah, and like only certain people are authorized. And like, I couldn't lock out, tag out something like I don't have, right, that certification. Plus you're shutting down. It's not a piece of equipment that makes money. So, yes, somebody wants to know that, right? Yes. Somebody there, yes. There is a, I mean, it's a business. I'm just trying to think as a business person how they would do that, because certainly if you're doing that, they want to get the team out there and clean up whatever is going on as soon as possible. So they can get that piece of equipment back in order and running so they can continue to pump oil. Understood. Well, and to the other thing too is he hadn't even looked at the site yet. So it's like, how do you know that you need to do a lockout tag out? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's noted unintelligible. I mean, I would like to, it's something for me to investigate. I'm just trying to get because you obviously know a lot. Yeah, more about the oil industry. I don't know anything about it. That makes sense to me. And that's good. So that's good. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't even think of that till just now. So anyways, that is a question for Anadarko. That's not a question for me. Yup. So he told me he was going to have to do that. And I was like, all right, cool. Then, and then, so he didn't show up for work. I mean, well, he did show up for work on Monday, but supposedly he was in the field. And then Monday evening, after my friend Jim left, that's when, Chris and I spoke on the phone, in that first really extended conversation. Again, I don't know exactly what time. Okay, let me pause here because we can keep listening to that if you want. There's a lot of great information in there. Again, this is the redacted half of one of the phone call interviews that Nicole does with Kevin Kobach. Now, Alyssa, you asked me specifically what the difference was between what she said. Chris Watts told her during the 111-minute phone conversation about what he'd be doing Monday morning between the August 16th interview and this one. And I was busy reading comments, so I wasn't listening to summarize exactly what it was. But you can see there's a lot of details in there that are just different in the level of detail. And there's also some facts. So hopefully that gave you some information. So just super quickly, I just wanted to let you know that just for the live chatters, we have a Patreon. We also have a Discord, and Cuffy will put the Discord link in the chat, and it'll be in the description here. So for the rest of the weekend, Patreon memberships are going to be 50% off. You have to use this code here that is, oh, I'll find it in a minute. Let me get it. I got it. I put the wrong one up. The code is 51 capital BCB. So that'll get you a Patreon membership at just $3 a month. There's exclusive content over there. A lot of it is on the Watts channel. I mean, the Watts case. And that is content that I cannot publish on YouTube because YouTube, quite frankly, rejects it. We also have members live streams and chats and discussions. They're totally uncensored, really fun and casual. You can say whatever you want. You can come up, you can talk. There's not a bunch of people listening. It's just a really great time. And I would love for you to join. So for the rest of the weekend, the memberships will be 50% off, which is $3 a month. And Honey Bun is such a honey bun. Where's my girl? She said if you join Patreon this weekend that she'll give you a free YouTube membership also. And oh, by the way, the Patreon members' lives are also open, of course, to our YouTube members. And the way that you get there is I send the YouTube members, I think I just send you guys a link, or I send you a code through the community post, and then Patreon members, I send you a link to that live stream through Patreon. You'll get an email and everything. You'll see it. Because that's the only way I can simulcast them now because StreamYard keeps being a bitch. Oh boy. Deborah Thinking says she is really thinking, Deborah Thinking, she is killing it with this narrative. She's like a train picking up speed, going down the mountainside. Oh, I just remember another thing. Isn't that crazy? She tells on herself so much. She offers all of this unsolicited information that is completely incriminating, that points to the crimes that she did commit. Yet she is walking free and has not been charged and certainly not prosecuted. Bridget Rabbit says, well, if you can't blind them with your brilliance, baffle them with your bullshit. That's a great saying. I got to remember that one. Mm-hmm. Do we know if NK was in regular contact with Jim prior to this? Well, the only way we'd really know that, I guess, well, actually, there's a couple of ways. We do have the phone records for the 6 weeks that they were, ordered for, and she was on the phone with Jim like all the time, like every other phone call. We also do know that they were connected through Facebook, and they had a lot of mutual friends on Facebook. So I do think that she probably was. To say yes or no for sure, not 100% sure. And here's a Discord link. It's really awesome. Cover a ton of cases, no fee or anything like that. You just got to go over there and check it out. Macker says, I think it was all set up because there are way too many coincidences. Oh my gosh. Great observation. Yes. Let's see. Leave Brittany alone. Hey. Oh no, it's Andrew. Are you the same as Artemis, Antrumus, or is this a different person? But welcome nonetheless. So do you guys want to listen to the rest of this? Let me know in chat. We'll do what you want to do. 50% off is awesome. Hey, Valerie, you leave Jim alone, Valerie. Hi, Linda. Welcome. How are you? Say, I think it was a Masonic ritual. She's involved in that world. I've said this before on this channel. My grandfather was a 33rd degree Mason. He was really proud to be a Mason. He was a treasurer in New York State for a while. He was also in World War II. He won a number of awards, including Purple Hearts. He was part of the D-Day recon team. You know what? I'm going to share all that over on Patreon too, because it's some really freaking cool stuff. I shared some of his photos from D-Day, some of his aerial photos from D-Day on YouTube, and people were really interested in it. I can only share so much on YouTube though, because it's public, and they're nasty people out there, guys. In the comments, some of the comments I get are very, very scary, but I will share it and Patreon. You guys want to listen? All right, we'll keep going with it then. Hey, Ninja Girl, welcome. Hey, Steady, welcome. And if I didn't say welcome to somebody, if I like missed you, please do not take it personally. I'm doing like a bunch of things here, and it's just because my eyes skimmed over you. But say hello. We'll say hello back. I don't want anyone to feel left out because we're so happy all of you guys are here. And if you don't mind, please do hit the like, that YouTube thing. Really appreciate it. Okay, so moving on with the second half of I think this is the August 21st phone interview between Nichol Kessinger and Kevin Kobach, the half that was redacted and can only be found, not with great ease, but here we have it in manuscript, transcript form, and I'm reading it out. That's why the weird inflections in my voice, because I'm trying to play the part of Kevin Kobach and Nichol Kessinger.
It was late, but that first really extended conversation, that's when he started kind of all that really creepy stuff. And then in that conversation, I started questioning him. And I was like, do you really, I don't even remember exactly what I said, but I asked him, I was like, did you really go to a job site this morning? And he was like, yeah. I was like, and who told you to go there? And I think he said his foreman had asked him to go, either him or his like co-cowing man is this guy named Troy. I don't know Troy. I don't even know what he looks like, but I do know he exists. So I guess their foreman relies on Chris and Troy to kind of like run their little part of the field. And so Chris was like,
now, do you guys believe that she doesn't know Troy or doesn't know Troy exists? Because when we listen to Troy McCoy's interview, it certainly sounds like he knows her.
Like, he was like, yeah, my foreman asked either he or Troy go out there and go look at it. And do you know the foreman's name? I don't. He's got a few of them, I think. Okay. I want to say that's okay. I want to say Luke Epple, but I don't know.
You're going to need to find that out with Anadarko too.
Okay.
That's an Anadarko question.
That's all right. And I know who,
but
Luke is, and I know who Troy is, so probably have already answered that. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Great.
So, anyways, so I told him to prove it because at this point, I mean, the things he'd been saying, like the sheets was kind of weird. You know what it was? It was a wedding ring comment that freaked me out. Like the sheets did, like was kind of weird at the time. The fact that I thought he had just lied to me about their separation, but it was like the wedding ring comment. Like he was so callous. Like he was just ready to like cash it in and get some money.
You were telling me.
And I was just like,
him to prove what?
To prove that they had told him to go to the field right away.
Okay, so.
And he's like, how do you want me to do that? And I was like, you take screenshots of your Anadarko phone and you text them to me.
And did he do that?
And yes, he did.
Okay, all right.
And he didn't send me the whole conversation, but there was 2 pictures of a release followed intermittently. Like there was text like on either side of the picture. And it looked, I didn't get everything. He just sent me like part of their conversation and I didn't have dates and times on either. Like you couldn't see the dates and times of what he was sending me. So he could have been sending me something that was like not recent. It could have been something from like weeks ago and I wouldn't have known, but he sent it to me and he sent it quick. Like it just like instantaneously when I asked him for it, like I was still on the phone with him and
right.
Then I looked at it while I was still on the phone and it made sense of what he'd been saying, but
okay.
The only thing in there, yeah, like it almost looked like someone else was originally going to go to that site and it looked like the conversation, I interpreted it, the conversation that had with his foreman and with Troy or whoever was in that conversation. It looked like the conversation had occurred probably at some point over the weekend. And then it looked like Troy, I think, or somebody else in the field was originally going to go out there first thing on Monday, and he told them not to worry about it and that he would do it. Okay. And I don't know the exact words, like I don't have the whole conversation. Again, it's something that you need to go to Anadarko for that. Yep. Okay. What's next?
So I just want to point something out here. Sky Dream said sheets and ring again, meaning the sheets on the Watts marital bed and Shanann's wedding ring came up in conversation unsolicited by Nichol Kessinger in an interview yet again in yet another interview. So when these things come up in the interviews time and time and time again, we know that they are prominent in Nichol Kessinger's mind and they are important to her. Why? Because she's trying to help solve the case? F no. It's because she's trying to cover her own ass. Really great observation. Thank you, Sky Dream.
And yes, well, then that was, and that conversation, that's the end of that. And then, okay. What else? Oh, okay. And then that same night, remember I told you we had that one big phone conversation that you and me just discussed. Then we FaceTime for like 2 minutes, right? And then we had another big phone conversation. Yep. So when we FaceTimed, I don't know. I don't know if it's relevant, but like you say, just say it anyways. He was.
Wait, this is important. I didn't catch this. Hold it. This is really important. Sorry, I was just chewing something. Lotus Spider says, if I remember correctly, Nichol told him to pawn the ring. Right. She said that in her previous interview. She just suggested he came up with the idea. Is that right? I didn't hear that, guys. I'm sorry. If that is true, that is super significant, I think. I need to go back a little bit. How far back was that, Lotus? I need to hear that. I'm sorry, guys.
But, okay. The only thing in there, yeah, like it almost looked like someone else.
I think it's further back. Shit.
To go to the field right away.
Oh,
okay,
crap.
so, and he's like, how do you want me to do that? And I was like, you take screenshots of your Anadarko phone and you text them to me. And did he do that? And yes, he did. Okay, all right. And he didn't send me the whole conversation, but there was 2 pictures of a release followed intermittently, like there was text like on either side of the picture. And it looked, I didn't get everything. He just sent me like part of their conversation and I didn't have dates and times on either. Like you couldn't see the dates and times of what he was sending me. So he could have been sending me something that was like not recent. It could have been something from like weeks ago and I wouldn't have known, but he sent it to me and he sent it quick. Like it just like instantaneously when I asked him for it, like I was still on the phone with him and right. Then I looked at it while I was still on the phone and it made sense of what he'd been saying, but okay. The only thing in there, yeah, like it almost looked like someone else was originally going to go to that site and it looked like the conversation, someone I interpreted it, the conversation that had with his foreman and with Troy or whoever was in that conversation. It looked like the conversation had occurred probably at some point over the weekend. And then it looked like Troy, I think, or somebody else in the field was originally going to go out there first thing on Monday, and he told them not to worry about it and that he would do it. Okay. And I don't know the exact words, like I don't have the whole conversation. Again, it's something that you need to go to Anadarko for that. Yep. Okay. What's next? And yes, well, then that was, and that conversation, that's the end of that. And then, okay.
What else? What else? What else? Okay. And then that same night, remember I told you we had that one big phone conversation that you and me just discussed. Then we FaceTime for like 2 minutes, right? And then we had another big phone conversation. Yep. So when we FaceTimed, I don't know. I don't know if it's relevant, but like you say, just say it anyways. He was wearing a black wife beater.
Wait, I'm going to stop us here again. So I opened another window and I pulled up the transcript and I searched for ring so I could find in this video where he talked about the ring, because Lotus Spider pointed out to us that she says here that he suggested pawning the ring, but before in the other interview, we know that she said she was just like, pawn it, man, like pawn it. So I found out when that was. I really need to hear that. Sorry. It's at 1:33. Oh, it's way back, dude. Okay. No, okay. So right now I'm at 2:01. We're going to hop right back here. Let's just listen to that together. Okay. Thank you for being patient. All right. Should be right around here. Okay. Maybe let me go back a couple more seconds. Okay. So let's keep listening. Thanks, guys, for being here. Welcome to those of you who are coming in. If you're new, please let us know where you're from. Please hit the like. And I'm so glad you guys are here with us tonight.
Last week.
Okay.
Let's see. Depends. Okay. So Monday, I think probably the most important conversation that I had with him after all of that took place was that first phone conversation on Monday night, like the later one. Remember I told you were telling me there's two big ones?
Right.
And the first one was the one where he mentioned the sheets, the smelly sheets of his kids, and that was also the one where he was telling me he was going to go get his wife's wedding ring appraised. That same conversation, I don't remember exactly how he phrased this. I don't remember what led to this, but he told me something about he mentioned that he had told, I don't know what he said. He said something about the separation and how she was okay with the fact that he wanted a separation.
Okay, so she just said that he told me that he was going to sell the ring. Okay, I got it. All right. Sorry, guys. Thank you for doing that with me. I just need to hear that. You're right. It is two totally different stories. Just like everything that is important that has to do with her being a part of the crime, when she tells the story again, it's different than it was the first time. So back to where we were when I had to take that little detour at 2 hours and 1 minute. And here it is.
The end of that. And then, okay. What else? What else? What else? Okay. And then that same night, remember I told you we had that one big phone conversation that you and me just discussed. Then we FaceTime for like 2 minutes, right? And then we had another big phone conversation. Yep. So when we FaceTimed, I don't know. I don't know if it's relevant, but like you say, just say it anyways. He was wearing a black wife beater. I think it was black. And I told you guys that he was laying on a mattress that had no sheets. And so I've been in his house, but I've never been in his kids' room or the room where his wife slept. Like I went upstairs once, but it was back to that little playroom where all the books are at, right? But I did not go into any of the rooms up there, like ever. But I remember that time I did go upstairs. The bedroom door to the upstairs bedroom, like the main room, was open, and I really I didn't want to look, but just when I was walking by, I just noticed they have a really big bed, it was tall, pillory, just like a big bed frame. So I don't
really know exactly what it looked like. I just looked like a quick glance or whatever. It's just like, that looks really big and nice, you know? Sure. But again, I didn't go in there, so I didn't get like a good view of it, but I noticed that the night that we were FaceTiming, I was trying to figure out where the hell he was, because I was like, he was laying down talking to me and he didn't have any sheets on the bed. But the background didn't look like the basement. And I've seen the basement and I've seen the bed in the basement. Like, I've seen his little dwelling area down there and it didn't look like that. And I saw, it kind of looked like he was laying down and he had the phone like facing him, but you could kind of see in the background, like the bed. And it looked like a really elegant, really tall bed frame. So you think it was the master bedroom? Yes, I do. Okay. I think it was. I didn't ask, but I'm assuming it was, and just no sheets on there. Okay. Like, I remember the mattress. If I remember properly, I think it was blue, but I don't remember 100%. But he was just like laying on it in a black wife beater. And I just remember like seeing this, and again, like, I've never been in the room, so I don't know. Okay. 100% like, oh, that was it. It kind of looked like something very elegant, and it definitely was not in the basement. Okay, what's next? Keeping you on track. I'm trying to go in order. I think that's it. Okay. I think that's all I've got. So I asked you a couple of questions when I was driving, when we talked earlier today, and said,
okay, so some of you brought this up in chat. Another great point. Once again, she brings up never going into that bedroom, although she could describe exactly what it looked like, indicating that that is an important point that she feels she needs to convey very strongly to Kevin Kolbach, meaning that is something she's lying about. Check it out. That's crazy.
since we weren't okay on tape, I'm just going to ask, okay, which was when I called you after we looked at your phone download and told you that the messages you deleted, like right now, they don't look like, I can't see them, so I'm trying to recover them. Like I told you though, some computer forensics. We'll see if we can get that done. But one of the questions I had for you was if you ever had social media, and you said you did not. So no, you don't use. I don't. Any social media. You've never used Facebook or Facebook Messenger with Chris? No, nothing. I never used any social media with him at all. I have LinkedIn when him and I first started hanging out for business purposes, but it was something like I was like never on. And then honestly, once all of this news media stuff and everything started happening, I deleted the LinkedIn. So that's it. It's harder for these people to try to come track me down and ask me a million questions. But I never ever spoke to him on that. I don't even think he has it. I don't even know. I never used it. Okay. And then, so I don't know. But as far as actual social media, I haven't had any of that other stuff like Twitter. I never had Twitter. I never had Instagram. I haven't had Facebook since 2016. So no, him and I never had any connection on any social media. Do you know when he closed his Facebook? No, I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot to write that down the other day. He mentioned to me on Saturday when we were at dinner. I think it was either when we were talking in the restaurant or walking out of the restaurant. Okay, what did he say? He just offhandedly was like, oh, I shut down Facebook. And I was like, what? Why? And he's like, 'cause I'm never really on there. He's like, she used to be on there all the time for work. And he's like, but I don't need it. And he just it was very random, nonchalant comment. And I was, so do you was surprised. Oh, and then no. And then I asked him, I said, did you shut it down all the way? And he kind of like gave me this puzzled look. I was like, you have to actually like write Facebook a letter. I mean, not like a letter, but you need to send them an email. You can't just deactivate it. I was like, you need to send them an email that says, I'm so-and-so, and I want you to shut down my account. So what was his response to that? I don't remember what he said to me. So do you think I really don't. Just deactivated it? I don't think he did it. Not shut it down? That's what I think he did. Okay. But I don't think I don't even think he knew that he hadn't completely gotten rid of it. Okay. Because I've done it. So I know what you have to do it. Okay. Anything else? No, but that was just kind of offhanded that you mentioned that. So yeah. Okay. But we never talked on Facebook. And then I ask you, if necessary, if for some reason I need to get your phone, that you would be willing to provide me the handset if necessary, and you were in agreement to that. Yeah, I mean, you guys just give me something else so I can like get a hold of people in my life that I need to get a hold of. That's fine. Okay. Can I have it back when you guys are done though? I mean, if you need to keep it, I can like go get another phone if I have to. Well, we can work that out should that come up. I'm okay. Still waiting. Okay. Waiting for a call from the computer forensic expert to okay. Give me an idea. Because of your phone's an iPhone, which makes, and my knowledge of this is that if you deleted something off an iPhone, it's gone. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, so I asked you to call Verizon because that's your provider. And so if they could give me some advice on that, did you happen to do that? I did. So I got on their online chat, and I saved that in case for some reason you guys need it. You can see that I asked them. I was able to, they told me that there's like several cloud storage devices. They said that Verizon has a cloud, and iPhone has a cloud. And I checked, and of course my iPhone cloud backup is not, it's not active. Okay.
So go figure. I don't pay any attention to that stuff. I really don't. Well, that's why I asked you if you used any cloud stuff earlier. So none of that was active? No, that was not. And then I asked them, they're like, well, your phone works with Verizon iCloud. And I was like, well, how do I activate that? Like, how do I open that? Where do I find that in my phone? And he's like, oh, it's an app. You have to download the app. And I was like, well, is anything from previous conversations going to be on there if I haven't downloaded the app yet? And he said, no. Okay. But I'll let you guys look at the conversation and my phone, and maybe, no. You guys can figure something out. It makes perfect sense to me that I can't. I know exactly what they're saying. So that was their only, so they were saying if you had the cloud, it would have been backed up to the cloud, but since you didn't, the messages are gone. Yeah, and my iPhone cloud is not backing anything up either. Right. So okay. It's just not active. So I'm really sorry about that, but that's okay. On a good note, so then I found this thing under data usage. I'll show you. I was going to bring my laptop in when I come. Not that you need anything off of there, but just so I can like show you my Verizon account, and maybe we can see if we can dig up some stuff on there. But I found messages, and it wasn't the actual body of the text message, but it was like the date and time and the phone. Okay. Number that went to it, and I received it, and I got really excited. I was like, oh my God, it's a message log.
And even if it wasn't the body of the message, it would probably help us figure out what's missing and what's not. And I was super excited. And then I started scrolling through it and realized that the last ones they have are from August 14th. So I think they keep them for a week and then they get rid of them. Okay, so did you screenshot that? I wish I would have known that 2 days ago. What's that? Did you take a screenshot of that or anything like that? I mean, I can if you want me to, or is it in your, is that in your personal Verizon account? Yes. Yeah, so it would, yeah, so would you just like print that page or something for me? Because in the event that they are, computer generation deletion, if there is something there, I'd like to try to save it as much as we can. Well, I mean, I wish you guys would have told me this like 2 days ago, because if they're only saving, it looks like they're not saving the body of the messages. It looks like, right, like what they're doing is saving the date and time. It's like a timestamp for the text message, sure. And who they came from, it looks like they're only saving them for a week, like, right? Because he knows that. And she knows this too because she researched it. Okay, I'm not going to interject again. Back to Kessinger. Today they went from 8:14, August 14th, and I'm afraid that if I wait, tomorrow they'll only be able to go back to 8:15, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you print those tonight, so and that'd be great. Just like, I know, I was so bummed. I was like, the 2 days I needed, like right before they were cut off. Yeah, that's okay. I think we're going to be okay with what we have. Like I said, I'm just trying to make sure we have as much info as possible. And sometimes it takes a little extra bit of work to get that information, but I'm okay with that because it could be very important later on down the line. It could be very important now. But you just don't want to lose it. I agree. Well, and it's like, I know that sometimes like I miss some things, but also like I want you guys to see those texts because maybe there's something important there that I can't even think of, Sure. Or not only that, but like it validates everything that I'm saying to you guys, right? Okay. Well, I'm going to work on those texts. Like I said, I'm going to talk to the agent who is kind of the lead agent on the case, and I think that she's going to want to sit down with you and kind of like go through the context of the messages to get a better idea, because text messages are just words. We don't know what was said before that in a phone conversation, or what might have been followed up in a phone conversation, or what prompted a text message to be sent, either from a prior meeting or something like that. So it'll be very helpful. I don't think that's going to happen this week because I know she's super busy. So just be patient with that. That information isn't going anywhere. We have that retained, and I appreciate you saying that you'll cooperate in doing that. No, I mean, I really, really want to help you guys. I mean, I have no reason not to help you guys. I can't even believe that he's trying to blame this on his wife. I can't imagine like how hard he's making this on the family right now. It just makes me so sad. It's so sad. Right. All right. Well, keep taking notes as new things come to mind. Okay, but I was going to tell you, I did get my phone log, okay? I got everything through the 13th. It was on my last month's billing statement, so I got a PDF of that. I did save it. It's on my desktop. It shows all of my incoming and outgoing in it, and it shows like where it was generated from. So like if I was at work, it shows like Platteville, and if I was home, it says Thornton. Like, sure, I've got those. Do you have my email address on my business card? Okay, you want me to just email it to you? That'd be great. Then, okay, then that would be the easiest for both of us. okay, then my next billing cycle started on the 14th. So if you guys want if you want phone records from the 14th, they're not like in this nice PDF because they haven't billed me for it yet. They're like in this weird shitty Excel file, and I tried to like open it and like make it user friendly and readable, and I don't feel like it's an Excel sheet. I don't know. It's fine. Yeah. What to do with it? I mean, I know what it's in. It'll be fine. You can send it to me however you have it. So you want the Excel? Okay, so do you want the Excel sheet too? Because like I said, sure. I have the PDF copy goes, yup, through the 13th. Then the Excel is like that. Sheet is like 14th on, but the dates don't show up on the Excel sheet when I downloaded it. I don't know what I gotta look and see. Okay. If I can get that to work. And if it doesn't work, I mean, at the end of the billing cycle, which will be in probably like 3 weeks or so, then I can give you the 14th. Yup. You know what I mean? And then you can just send me everything that you have off of this most recent. And then when your bill comes in, if you're remember to just send that to me. And we're getting those records, but again, I always like to ask, they're your records, so I always ask for you to share those with me. That way it shows cooperation, number one. Let me say it again. It shows cooperation, number one. Number two, if we don't have something, then I'd have to go back and write a warrant to get it. Number two, if we don't have something, then I'd have to go back and write a warrant to get it. You're consenting to give it that stuff me, and it's helpful to our investigation, and that's all we really care about. I know, and I want you guys, to do the best you can. And so any way that I can help, I'm really disappointed about those texts. I just honestly, that wasn't the first thing on my mind when I deleted them. I was just like, I was so disgusted with him. I was like, I don't even want to look at this. You need to go away from my life, right now. And I just, boom, got rid of it. Okay. I didn't even realize oh my God, these guys are going to need, you can't, these, it's okay. You didn't know. We've talked about this. Don't beat yourself up about the text. We'll figure it out. It's noted that it's unintelligible. Okay. All right. I'm hoping we can recover most of them. I think I had one more thing to say to you. I don't know. The media is really noted unintelligible. Today it's crazy. After I got off the phone with you, I literally probably got numerous phone calls from friends and numerous texts from people saying that the media is coming to their house and asking them questions. So I don't know. I must be hiding out pretty well because good. They're going to great lengths. I've had people that I haven't talked to in a year trying to contact me, people old coworkers I hardly even know, hey, are you okay? Well, just continue to do what you're doing and your choice whether to talk to them or not. And you don't have to talk to them if you don't want to. And just like we said before, your dad is probably your best ally in this, and hopefully he'll take some of the brunt. These people phoning and tell them to go away if that's your wishes. And then go from there. But stay in touch with me. If you go somewhere, if you're going to leave the state or whatever, just make sure you let me know your phone number. She doesn't say anything else, so I'm going to just end it there. We've been on for over 2 hours, and wow, yeah. So just again, for our live chatters, if you want to join Patreon, there's exclusive content over there, including Watts content, some things I really think that I cannot put on YouTube, and some things that I found that I also cannot put on YouTube. And there's exclusive content and files, case files, and other cases. And also we do casual, uncensored live streams. I'm going to be doing one for Patreon members and YouTube members either tomorrow night or Monday night. I'm not sure which, so be looking for that, Patreon and YouTube members. For you guys, Patreon membership, I'm
giving you a 50% off discount. So that's as long as you're a member. Use the code 51BCB. It's there on the screen. So it's only $3 a month. Guys, the Patreon memberships are really so helpful to the channel. I try to give you guys back since you're supporting the channel that way. So, whatever you want to do as Patreon members, definitely, let me know and we'll do it. Your wish is my command, friends. Hey, Rachel, Marin says she doesn't remember what's true. Right. Yeah, she is the worst. Yes. Justice A through Z says she's the worst. Yeah. Hey, Dawn, thanks so much. My pleasure. I'm so glad that you guys are still interested and that you care. And I feel so strongly about this. I wouldn't have given it so much energy. I mean, I've spent many, oh my God, I don't even want to know how many hours of my life researching into this case and, presenting material and what we have found. And, I really, truly believe justice has not been done here, not completely. And Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico and their family members and loved ones absolutely deserve it. And go suck a big one, District Attorney Rourke. That's all I'm going to say about him. So, and also Discord, check out our Discord channel as well. I know Cuffy left, but she, really runs that for us. She does a great job covering lots of cases. Great to see you, Serena. Always love hearing your insight into the case. Same with all of you. All right, guys. So I am going to head out. I'll do a little extended outro so you guys can say the last things you want to, say your goodbyes and all of that. I really hope to see you over at Patreon. Again, we'll be doing a live stream over there and for YouTube members too, either tomorrow night or Monday night. And hey. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. Make sure you use that code. I wanted to ask you this. So my video on Epstein Island, I think it's a very, very thorough documentary, very thorough. We do a tour of Epstein Island, go over the horrible things that happened there, the people associated, what has been discovered by organizations like Wired about the phone tracking data, like who's hit Epstein Island and all of that. I'm doing a video series on all of Epstein's properties. So I have been telling you for the last week and a half, it's coming out. I've just been refining it, making sure that there's nothing in there that YouTube's going to make this my fourth Epstein video on YouTube that's been taken down because I just couldn't bear it because I worked really hard on it. It's going to come out tomorrow. If I made it a premiere, would you guys be interested in that tomorrow evening? If you can just let me know in chat, that would be great. Because if you guys are interested in doing a premiere, and that's where we just show it for the first time all together, we can comment just like you can here in a live stream. Then I'll do it. If there's no interest, then I'm just going to put out like a regular video. Oh, thanks, Justice A through Z. And you too. Justice A through Z does a lot of Epstein content over on her channel too. Shoot. I'll grab a link to that, put your channel, put in the description, Justice A through Z. She also read out Virginia Dufresne's book. If you want to hear that, you can go over to Justice A through Z's channel. And thanks for saying that. I appreciate it. So you'd be interested in a premiere? Okay. Tomorrow night around, let's see, it's Sunday. It'll be no later than 9. It'll be right around 9, possibly a little earlier. I will do it as a premiere if you guys would be interested. I got one yet. I'm like, oh, okay. I know. Edward Schwank, one of our moderators, said, oh, God, Watts Island, Epstein Island. I was like, oh, my God, I didn't think about that. We're in purgatory. We're stuck on an island. Rachel says, the children were already dead. That's why he was upstairs with the TV on. Do you think he would risk waking them with a TV and interrupting his faith? Oh, that's a real, wow. Dang. Or he thought the children were already dead. Remember? Like in Sharon Cato's book or one of his letters to her where he says he tried to murder them once and they woke up. And he says they woke up on other occasions, which is weird because she didn't know what he was talking about, right? Please let me know if you guys are interested in doing the Epstein Island video as a premiere tomorrow night. Please do, because I'm not decided yet. Because it can hurt the video if people don't go to the premiere. That's why I'm asking. And also because I want to give you guys what you want. Rachel, that is really super insightful. I never thought of that. I need to think that through. That's wow. I think that very well may be a very important piece of the puzzle. The rain machines blocked out sound. Well, it was said that the girls were very light sleepers, probably because they didn't need to be sleeping, but that's a whole nother topic. But and that anything would wake them up. I don't know if that's true or if that's so Shanann could have things around the house the way she wanted, like Chris not parking in the driveway and using the garage and stuff like that, or if they really were light sleepers. But either way, whatever Shanann said, Chris pretty much believed, even if it was a blatant mistruth. So maybe he did think they were light sleepers and wouldn't have the TV on upstairs while they were awake. That's really interesting. I think that's really interesting. Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. Huh. Wow. Thanks for adding that, Rachel. Really interesting. Now I have something to think about now. Yeah. So, okay, guys. So I'm going to end this. And okay, so it sounds like you guys aren't too interested in an Epstein Island premiere tomorrow night. I didn't get a lot of response on that. So, but maybe there will be, maybe there won't. I have to ask around a little more, ask the mods and stuff. Why does she know where the camera is? That's a good question. Another good question. You're bringing them, girl. That's great. Thank you. That's something else for us to think about. Dang. The fact that he didn't let the girls talk to Ronnie on Sunday could have also meant that they were already gone. Maybe. I've heard people say that before, Serena. And I personally don't think that they were gone that early in the day. I don't know. This is just my speculation. But I do think that he and Ronnie really truly were fearful that if he allowed the girls to FaceTime with Ronnie, that they would have told Shanann. Bella definitely would have said something. I saw Poppy, oh, where, and that they were afraid of what her reaction would be after the whole fiasco with Nutgate and such. Yeah. And again, more honest material on topics such as that over on Patreon that I can't post on YouTube, or I'd be persecuted, crucified, burned at the stake, things like that. All right, guys, thanks so much for being there. You guys are the best. I am going to get going because we've been on here a long time. But again, thank you for being here. I took a little while off of YouTube. I just had some stuff going on. I also honestly was really so troubled by the Epstein files. I had a little mental, I don't know if I want to talk about true crime ever again. I'm kind of over that because I think it's important. We do need to talk about this stuff, but I'll talk about that maybe on Patreon too. But I'm going to be doing more live streams again. So I love hearing from you guys. It's just the best. So I hope you'll be looking out for them. We always do one on Friday or Saturday night and then other random ones during the week. And we just love it when you're here. Thanks, guys. Remember, life is hard. So please be kind to another, but most of all, be good to yourself because I know that you're not. No one is. We're just not. But I know you deserve it. So I hope you do something really awesome for yourself tomorrow.
Here we go once again for a marriage like amen. Don't you worry, it's gonna be alright. 'Cause I'm the judge and jury, and we'll be up all night. You better check for pose. You better check for pose. You better check for
They are dead on that.
all the best things love can bring. All in the blind spot that we don't see. Wipe the dirt.
It was earlier tonight. I don't.
13, she had her 13th birthday party. She was happy that we were all together.
She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
Don't you worry about the future, about the past. It will hurt the ones that love you.